dark, scary night. All was quiet in the house. There was a noise. And the Wi-Fi went out. Happy Halloween! Hello there, and happy Halloween, everybody. I want to start off the night by giving you a brief history so that everybody has a little bit of a background as to why we dress up and act like random animals and ghosts and goblins on Halloween. So, about 2,000 years ago, there were the Celts and the Gaelic peoples, and they believed that at the end of summer, going into the dark period of the year, that the spirits would be closer to the humans because of the fact that it was their new year. And so what they would do is they would communicate with them, and they would remember them, and they would dress up actually as animals so that they could communicate better with them, because their logic was that if they did not look like a human, then they would be able to have the powers of the animals to communicate with the passed on loved ones and the spirits. And sometimes it would also be to protect themselves from the dark spirits or the negative spirits that might be up to no good, trying to cause trouble while they're in town, basically. This is also why they would dress up like ghosts and goblins and things, because they were trying to disguise the fact that they were humans so that they could communicate better. Also, on the religious side, you've got with the Christians and the Catholics, I believe also, that they had All Hallows Eve, which was the beginning or the day before Hallows Tide. And a hallow is actually a saint. So what they would do is light candles to place on the graves and to commemorate the people that had passed, as well as the saints who had passed. And oftentimes they would actually dress up as the saints, and some people would dress up as like demons and angels and things like that, and they would actually have like a little procession around their church and town. And then it slowly started becoming the Halloween that we know it today. So I decided what better thing to do than on a day like this, and do a reading for everybody to see what is lurking in our shadows that we need to address. So, without further ado, this is going to be a general reading. And I think I'm going to use this deck. This is going to be a general reading, but it could very well branch off into two different groups. I'll let you know if that happens. Okay. I'm going to speak the light. Those are only here for a while. What is it that's collective that's coming today? I'm protected from everything is not comprehensible. Okay. A little tarot ASMR for you. Just kidding. Okay, I'm picking up on some anxiety, a little bit of burnout. You're ready to act on a situation. It could have to do with some type of addictive behavior, or maybe even a sexual impulse that you may be having. There's definitely that feeling of restlessness. It looks like you're going to be entering into a new project soon, or you're inspired by one. It may involve traveling or leaving something behind. The thing you might be leaving behind could have to do with a smothering type personality. And that could be actually the addictive behavior itself. Maybe it's a negative mindset of like codependency. There is some type of self-imposed like restriction that you're putting on yourself. You feel that it's necessary that you relocate or go through a transition that you're currently leading yourself towards. That transition is going to be kind of going into hermit mode. You're going to start isolating. You could be being pushed through this unwillingly. It could be that the universe is guiding you this way. But either way, it's good for you. It's so that you can start to shine a light on what's important in your life and to really connect inwardly, spiritually. Okay, for this next card, I'm going to have you pick a number between 1 and 4. So just go ahead and pick the number. 1, 2, 3, or 4. Okay? I'm not going to separate this out from the piles. I'm just going to read them off individually. For those of you that picked number 1, release that anxiety that you may be having. Your nightmares and anxiety, your grief, the depression, all of it. Release it. It's just a loud dog barking at you, but it has no bite. There's no more need for it, and you are able to stand strong enough against it without having to worry. So don't trick your mind into thinking you need to worry. Group 1. Or number 1. Number 2. Wishes do come true. And good health and good prosperity and good emotional well-being is in the cards for you. So believe in your dreams and make a wish every chance you get, because they do come true. So trust in that. Group 3. If you're stressing about money, or if you're going into debt, remember, or if you're already in debt and you're stressing about how to get out, remember that even the most frugal person has corners that they can cut when it comes to finances, whether it be saving all of your change, or getting a small drink instead of a large, and putting that money away, or even maybe determining what you could cut down on your cell phone bill, or getting a free phone. You know, there's lots of ways. Maybe downsizing your actual environment, your living space. There's ways to budget the money so that you can always come up with more of it without actually having to create more of it. But also, you yourself are capable of creating it. There's something about your energy that is basically, your foot's already in the door and you just haven't walked through for whatever reason. Probably because you already have this mindset. You don't think that it's going to be good enough, but it is. So go for it and take that leap. The worst that can happen is you end up in the same spot that you're at now. Right? And for those of you with group 4, there's a lot of chaotic energy around you. You could be somebody, or you could be dealing with somebody that has a little bit of a sexual impulsivity or just spontaneity, which is perfectly fine as long as you allow it to be fine. You know what your limits are, you know what your morals are, you know what your expectations are, and so stick to them. You owe yourself that. If this doesn't have to do with sexuality, then it's your energetic field in general. Reach out for what you want to create, and don't doubt yourself in the process. And the right people are going to find you that are the right ones to see whatever your artwork is, or your creative outlet happens to be. Okay? Alright, so final message. Let's see if we can get some advice for you guys. Okay, Spirit. Thank you for the clear, wise messages. If you could please give collective some advice or guidance to help them through this time. What would you like them to know? The only restrictions that you are limited by are your own. But the divine and spirit is all around you, and they will protect you as soon as you allow yourself to escape. Either you or another person could be suffering from some sort of abuse or emotional manipulation. Remember, that is their truth. That is not your truth. You do not need to believe anybody else's truth. You only need to receive it unconditionally. If somebody is being cruel to you, it's not personal to you. Allow it to be erased from your awareness, I guess, when possible, and don't take it to heart because it's them just acting out and not knowing how to handle or cope with whatever they're going through and whatever damage had already been inflicted on them. It's not something that is meant to be harmful for you. It is your duty and your responsibility to know where your boundaries are and to understand that their truth is their truth and your truth is your truth, and the only one that actually needs to matter with affecting you is yours, because everybody's entitled to believe what they want to believe and think what they want to think, but it's up to you to regulate what you believe and what you think. Don't ever just adapt somebody else's truth because they spat it at you, okay? And remember, unconditional love for yourself and for others does not mean allowing abuse. It means understanding that that's where that person is on their path at that time, and loving yourself unconditionally enough that you will protect yourself in that situation and not withstand anything unnecessary. If you need help getting out of a relationship, then there's definitely hotlines and places that you can go for assistance. So don't be scared to ask. There's no form of abuse is too small, I'm hearing, okay? You're definitely fearful of change and possibly in denial about the need to have the change happen. Understand that your divine connection is going to be, again, protecting you and guiding you as long as you allow it to be what lifts you and not weighs you down. And your connection with others and your ability to set out about with your creativity and your sexuality and all of that is going to be something that you're able to stand on. It will be there for you as you need it, but trust in the divine to be guiding you higher, to your higher level, because you're ready to do another ascension. I feel there might be an energy of a bit of laziness or maybe just lack of interest in doing any extra work that's required of you. I feel like this is because you're actually pretty weighed down by your heart space. You let somebody else tie up your confidence for a pretty long time, and it has caused it to be something that you feel like you're carrying rather than something that's carrying you, you know. And it's all about your perception change with this, and all about energy creates energy. And the more active that you are in your pursuit of seeking out your confidence and your love, the more productive you will notice that the actions that you take are going to be. Also, if there's a need to retreat due to a lack of confidence possibly, or just a defeat that you felt, that's okay, and it's not a loss, because there is no loss when it comes to life, because there's always a lesson that you were able to win out of it. And so make sure you concentrate on that lesson and you don't focus on what you feel or what you perceive as a mess up, okay? Because nothing is final. There's always a tomorrow. You just have to have your perception change and your flexibility for it. And the final message Delays and issues and setbacks are not always meant to be something harmful. More often than not, if we actually stay flexible and we notice what's going on around us and the changes that we're experiencing, typically we will find that those delays or setbacks opened up some amazing opportunities that we would have totally missed and passed by. And sometimes it's as simple as getting that extra 10 minutes to talk to somebody that you care about in the car because you hit traffic. But too often times people will start getting frustrated at the traffic and focus on that, and that 10 minutes that could have been spent actually maybe praying or having quality time with the person that you're with, or just planning out what you're about to do next, meditating a little bit. But we waste that opportunity spent angry at outside forces that we can't control. But you can control you, and you can control your environment, and you can control the way that you're perceiving the things that are happening around you. So if you are experiencing oftentimes throughout the day anger or sadness or frustration or annoyance, then it's really important for you to take a step back and look inward and discover what it is that you could be spending your energy on instead. And that goes for everything, even a breakup, and then when you think about it and you realize, wow, that person was really mean. Actually, I was not happy. I just wanted to be happy and I wanted them, and that's why I held on for so long. But now I realize that they were mean. Like, they weren't cut out for me anymore. I wasn't meant for them yet. Or possibly, say you fail a test, right? And so you have to stay late in class, or you have to maybe cancel some plans with friends so that you can study better the next time for the next test around. And what you're doing is you're choosing yourself then at that point, and you're learning your lesson, and you'll probably end up with an even better grade because you dedicated. Or you might get that extra tutoring time with the teacher, which could really help as well. Instead, we will end up usually going into the behavior of like, I failed, and getting discouraged and getting mad at yourself, and giving up for the next time, or not studying extra because you're like, well, what's the point? I got this bad grade anyways. And there's always a silver lining if you allow it. But it's about not letting your shadows block it away from you. So make sure your light is turned on and look through those shadows as much as possible, because there is definitely happiness waiting for you to realize that you have it. And I hope that this was at least insightful in some way for all of you that do watch it. And please remember, if you could, to please like and subscribe. And I will hopefully be having your viewing of my next video. I don't know how to say that because I don't actually see you, so but I hope I'll see you next time in my mind. Right. Love and light, and happy Halloween, everybody.